So you're thinking about doing over an area of your yard like this foundation area, or it could be a backyard screen or an island planting. It can be overwhelming knowing where to even get started. You walk into a garden center, there's so many plants, Latin names, we get it. Every home is different in terms of the sunlight and the soil type and the exact measurements and configuration of the planting area you're trying to improve. So that's why we want to help you, and we've created a checklist to do just that. And here's the best part: by filling out this checklist before you arrive, we'll help you get the right plant for the right place right away. There are 3 sections to this checklist: sunlight, soil, and observations. So it starts with sunlight. Knowing your sunlight is probably the most important thing for the right plant in the right location. You can see kind of a shadow right here from this paper bark maple, this kind of filtered sunlight, and that's to the east, so it's blocking a little bit of the morning sun. And you can see I have my house right here, so when the sun gets into the midday sun, that dormer up there especially might block a little more. So I consider this a part shade area, and I want to put plants that thrive in part shade conditions right here. On a sunny day, observe how much sun the area is getting. Also note what time of day the area gets the most sun. Are there trees above that will filter some of that sunlight? So the next thing we want to talk about is the soil. And everybody has different soils. We tend to have a low pH soil here, but some people have a very sandy, gravelly soil, and some people have a very clay soil on the other end of the spectrum. Perform a simple hand test first. Grab a bunch of soil, squeeze it, see if it breaks apart when you bounce it around a little bit like this does. The next thing we want to do is to dig down 10, 12 inches and fill it with water and see how well it drains. So if it's under 30 minutes, like we just saw with mine, it's well-drained soil. If it takes 30 or 60 minutes for this 12-inch deep hole for the water to go all the way down, it's moderately well-drained, and if it takes more than 60 minutes, it's poorly drained soils. So knowing how quickly the water drains matters because, again, we're going to help you pick the right plant for drier, well-drained soils versus soils that hold on to water, and you would need a plant that can handle those wet conditions in that case. And once again, if you can't do this test, don't worry about it. Take some pictures of the hole or take some pictures of the soil in your hand close up, and we can help you when you come in. So another thing to observe, and here I am in my lawn area, I happen to know this soil is not very good and not very deep, and it is relatively compacted. And when you see moss like this, that's another indication that you're dealing with compacted soil situations. Lastly, let us know if you've already got mulch or ground cover in place. That will help with maintaining moisture and even temperatures throughout the year. The last step is just notes and observations and maybe some measurements as well. This space is for you to describe anything unique about your site, such as, is it on a slope? Is there high wind exposure? Do you have deer or rabbit browsing taking place on your site? Just make notes of any special situations that you know about with your property that we should be aware about. Deer-eaten yews, I call these. There's no branches below about 5 or 6 feet, so deer browse through my property all the time. And I would want to select plants that are less likely to be nibbled on by deer. Next, you can measure the area you are working in and use the space to write it down or even draw it out. Looks like about 12 feet to this tree, so 12 feet wide. And then from my existing hedge in the back out to the lawn area, I'll take an average because it's curved, is also about 12 feet wide. So I've got about a 12 by 12 foot area. And having those measurements is important because we can pick the right amount of plant material to properly fill in that area over the years. And in order to do that properly, we're probably going to have a little space between the plants in the beginning. We don't want to overcrowd so that 2 years later all the plants are jammed into each other. So there's an art to that too, but give us the measurements and we'll select the right amount of plant material for your space. So the last thing is just make notes of plants that you really like. You know, I really love this hellebore right here. I like hellebores. They do well in this shade spot right here. I'll probably want more of those. I like the yellow grass of this Hackanachoa right here. It's just coming up now. Look at what your neighbor has, driving down the road, what you like. Bring those ideas to us. Take pictures. Also go on to our plant library, and we have all various categories of plants with pictures on there too, and you might see something you like there. So this checklist is really going to help you in so many ways if you just take a few minutes up front and go through it, and we hope you do that, and we'll see you soon.